Hello, everybody. I'm Carla Cabral with Direct Action Everywhere, and I want to give a few moments for people to join this live. But we are in Utah at the state capitol in Salt Lake City, getting ready to start our protest. We've got, here a giant head of Utah Attorney General Sean Reyes. We are out here protesting the upcoming trial in October against Wayne Shung and Paul Darwin Picklesheimer for their incredible rescue of two dying piglets from Circle 4 Farms back in 2017. Again, hello everybody. Thank you all for joining this live stream. We are just getting started, getting everything set up for our protest. Again, I'm Carla Cabral with Direct Action Everywhere, and there are lots of activists who have made it out here to this protest at the Utah State Capitol. You can see people starting to get ready right now, getting the large head of Utah Attorney General Sean Reyes set up, and we are going to be giving some speak outs and talking about the upcoming trial. So originally the trial was actually supposed to start and be heard right now in Utah, the trial against Wayne Shung and Paul Darwin Picklesheimer against Circle 4 Farms and Smithfield Foods. Circle 4 Farms is the largest pork producer in the nation, and they are owned by Smithfield Foods, which is a wholly owned subsidiary of WH Corporation. So back in 2017, some activists were able to go into Circle 4 Farms to document the unlawful animal cruelty that was happening at this location. They had previously said that they had stopped using gestation crates, which are terrible instruments. It's a metal cage that is just barely the same size as a mother pig, and they are meant to stay in this cage where they can hardly move at all. They cannot turn around. They stand up most of their lives, and they're meant to stay in this cage for the entire length of their pregnancy. After they have been forcefully impregnated, they spend time in these gestation crates, and they are meant to be moved to farrowing crates to give birth. But as was documented by the activists, you can clearly see, if you go to Operation Death Star, you can see the video footage that was taken. This is footage that was not to be shown to anybody, so that the jury would not be tainted by this footage. The judge, the Utah judge, decided that no evidence of animal cruelty, no discussion of animal cruelty, of what was found at Circle 4 Farms, was going to be able to be shown to the jury. And if you were on trial, I would hope that you would want the evidence of why you did what you did to be able to be presented, and that is not happening in this case. And so just last month, several activists came to Beaver County, Utah, where the trial was going to happen, just to talk to the public, to find out what they thought about the trial, to find out if they knew about the trial. And while they were there, they were not harassed by the residents of that area. In fact, they were instead harassed by the local police officers. Beaver County Sheriff and officers harassed Curtis Vollmer and several other activists. And because of that, the trial has now been moved to another location, and it is happening next month. But we decided to come up here at the time the trial was originally supposed to be heard, so that we can do this protest to raise awareness of the trial, so that people can see the footage and that they know what is happening and that they can take action. If you would like to help and take action, you can go to dxe.io/Utah trial, and you can find out more about what is happening, where you can go to be part of the protest during the trial. Go to righttorescue.com. If you go to righttorescue.com, you will find out lots of information about the trial. If you look up Operation Death Star, you can find footage of what was found in Circle 4 Farms. Again, they had announced publicly that they were no longer going to be using gestation crates because they're cruel, and everybody knows that they're cruel, and people were outraged. So they announced that they were no longer using gestation crates. And during the 2017 investigation, Wayne and Paul were able to expose the fact that there were hundreds of impregnated female pigs that were still being kept in these gestation crates, not just during their pregnancy, but also after they had given birth. There were so many dead and dying piglets covered in their mother's feces that were found during this investigation. And we feel that it is very important that people understand why the activists did what they did, and to allow the public to have a voice in whether they feel that this was warranted in order to expose what goes on in these factory farms. So everybody is getting set up. I'm going to turn the camera around so you can see everybody, and things are going to get started very soon. I again would like to thank everybody for joining this live stream. It's going to be a wonderful protest today. Lots of activists speaking up, and we're going to let everybody know how you can help also bring light to what is going on, why we are here in Utah at the state capitol in Salt Lake City, and why we are going to continue to be present in Utah so that people know what's going on and can help out. Thank you so much for joining. Let me show you guys what is going on here. We have some press that's getting set up. People are lining up. You can see it's a absolutely gorgeous day out here at the Capitol.
Forming a line to the right.
There is Utah Attorney General Sean Reyes. There he is, covering up animal cruelty. And you can see some images on these large posters that people are holding. These are images of the individuals at Circle 4 Farms. What was found during the investigation. You can see here what an atrocity it is. This is a mother pig who has just given birth to her piglets, and you can see that they are just covered in her own feces. And why is that? If you can see on this picture, she cannot move. She cannot get up and turn around. She cannot give love to these babies that she has just given birth to because she is in a gestation crate that is the same size as her body. Here is another pig at Circle 4 Farms. There is disease that runs through this place due to the unsanitary conditions that the animals find themselves in. You can see all the activists lining up now. This is such an important thing. Look who we have here. Look at this. This is who we're fighting for. This is an individual. Who is this?
This is
Cuzzy. Oh, look, this is Cuzzy, a beautiful individual enjoying an apple out here in the sunshine. This is what should be happening. These individuals need to be loved and cared for. They are extremely intelligent. They are very loving. And just like any other companion animal, they just want to be loved. And we can do that. We can give them the love that they so deserve. We have to make sure that these factory farms do not take individuals like Cuzzy and put them behind bars, never seeing the light of day, never getting sunshine. I'm getting a little bit of honks from people. Again, thank you all so much for joining out here at the Utah State Capitol. I can't get over, Cuzzy is so cute over there. I'm so excited that she was able to join us here. We've got all the activists lined up. Again, this is all for bringing attention to the upcoming trial in Utah against Wayne Shung and Paul Darwin Picklesheimer, because they were brave enough to go inside Circle 4 Farms to provide documentation, proof of what was happening inside that farm. You can see a picture of those two with the piglets that they rescued, Lily and Lizzie, 2 piglets that were dying. You can see here the conditions that these piglets find themselves in. And luckily, Lily and Lizzie were rescued, and they are alive today thanks to the brave actions of Wayne and Paul and every individual that is inside of these factory farms deserves to be free. They deserve love. They deserve to be cared for. And we are going to help provide that. And you can help us if you go to righttorescue.com. You can find out more information on how you can help. Make sure that you're sharing this live stream. Please share the live stream and make sure that you are talking with your friends and family and everybody that you can so that people are aware of what's going on next month. We will be back here in Utah supporting our friends during this trial. So one of the things that just happened yesterday that was very interesting was that the judge decided that they were going to make the jury anonymous. Let me turn this around for a second. So what does that mean? What does it mean for the jury to be anonymous? Well, this is something that rarely happens. It is usually done in cases where there is a jury in, let's say, a mafia trial, where there is an idea that perhaps the jury would get retribution due to their being part of that jury. And so the judge decided in this case to also make the jury anonymous. And of course, this is something that biases the jury to think already that the people who are on trial are possibly harmful, that they could possibly do something. And that is not who we are. Direct Action Everywhere is a nonviolent organization. We believe deeply in nonviolent actions. We simply want to expose the truth of what is happening so that people can be informed. They can make informed decisions. And that jury is not going to be able to make an informed decision if they can't get the footage of what happens inside Circle 4 Farms, they're not going to be able to make a real decision if they don't have all of the information. So we want to make sure that people speak up, speak out proudly. You can contact the prosecutor, the Utah Attorney General, Sean Reyes. You can certainly contact him and let him know how you feel about this. Let him know that you think that what's happening is an injustice. If our justice system is going to work, then people who are on trial need to have the right to defend themselves. And that means showing the evidence of why they were there and what happened during their time inside that farm. So let me turn this around so you can see what's going on.
What do we want?
Animal liberation.
When do we want it?
Now.
One struggle, one fight.
Human freedom, animal rights.
One struggle, one fight.
Human freedom, animal rights.
Do not buy Sean Reyes' lies.
Do
not buy Sean Reyes' lies.
Animals do not want to die.
Do not buy Costco's lies.
Animals do not want to die.
Their bodies.
Not ours.
Their lives.
Not ours.
Their freedom.
Not ours.
Their babies.
Not ours.
Their flesh.
Not ours.
Thank you all for joining here. Please make sure that you're sharing this live stream.
One struggle, one fight.
Human freedom, animal rights.
One struggle, one fight.
Human freedom, animal rights.
Freedom for all.
Justice for animals.
Freedom for all.
Justice for animals.
Freedom for all.
Justice for animals.
Do not buy Sean Reyes' life.
Animals do not want to die.
Do not buy Sean Reyes' life.
Animals do not want to die.
What do we want?
Animal liberation.
When do we want it?
Now.
Thank you guys for joining. We're going to have some speak outs very soon. We also have another group of activists who've been out here in the heat, and we're going to talk to them a little bit later on so that you can know why they're here as well, because this is all part of the same justice of climate crisis, people's rights, animal rights, human rights. They're interconnected, and we need to be working together for the same goal.
General of Utah, Sean Reyes,
Rasa is giving her speak out right now.
animal rescuers, and to stop threatening to put them into prison for 10 or more years for rescuing 2 piglets. In October of this year, there will be a jury trial in Utah of 2 animal rescuers. These rescuers, they took out 2 piglets from Smithfield Company Animal Factory Farm. The piglets were sick when the rescuers took them. Their mother was also ill, and she had bloody nipples. The rescuers took the 2 piglets to a veterinarian to get medical attention. And then, after that, the rescuers found a new loving home for the 2 baby animals. And the 2 baby animals were able to live out the rest of their natural lives. And every day they were treated with love and caring. And we believe that all animals deserve this type of kind treatment. All animals deserve to be rescued from situations of distress and where they would be killed and where they're suffering. It should be our right as humans to help others, to help other animals. However, the Attorney General of Utah, Sean Reyes, he is prosecuting these 2 animal rescuers. And now there will be a trial, and the 2 rescuers could be put into prison for 10 or more years. And you might be wondering, why is this happening? Why is the Attorney General of Utah trying to put animal rescuers into prison? Well, the answer may be because the corporation Smithfield gave money to Sean Reyes' campaign. So if we follow the money, we can guess that maybe the money influenced the decision of Sean Reyes. And this explains why this injustice is happening. So we're here to ask Sean Reyes to please side with activists and act in the best interests also of the average American. The average American and the average resident of Utah, they want to know the truth. And if they want to also go and document conditions in factory farms or take out a sick animal, we should be able to do that. So it would be in the best interest of the average person in Utah for us to be able to help animals. And so this is not a trial that is in the best interest of an average Utah resident. In fact, this trial is showing that it's not safe to be kind to animals. It's not too late for Attorney General of Utah to still change his mind and request that the judge stop the trial, because there's no logical and no moral reason to put into prison animal rescuers. So please, if you can hear us, Sean Reyes, please think about this and change your mind, change your actions. If you want to continue your political career as a leader in the United States, please do what is right for the average person, and please don't act out of financial interest. Even though you have received money from Smithfield Corporation, it doesn't mean that you should also do immoral things just because it helps the company. Smithfield wants to silence activists because Smithfield believes that if the average American sees what is happening in animal factory farms, they may stop buying as much meat from Smithfield. That would reduce profit of Smithfield. And so Sean Reyes should stop protecting profit of a company that gave him money. This is not moral, and in fact, it's corrupt behavior. But it's not too late. Here are messages. Think about what you're doing, Sean Reyes, and you can still side with what is right for animals, what is right for an average American to have freedom, and what is right for the average person in Utah. It's to know the truth and also to have freedom to help animals. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rasa. That was an incredible speak out by Rasa.
It's not food. It's violence. It's not food.
It's violence.
It's not food.
It's violence.
What do we want?
Animal liberation.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Animal liberation.
When do we want it?
Now.
Everyone on this live stream can make a difference. You can share this live stream. You can contact the Utah Attorney General, Sean Reyes. You can let him know that this is not okay what's happening during this trial, that he should be protecting the general public and not the corporations. You can let him know that you think it's a travesty, that the jury is not actually going to be able to understand why Paul and Wayne went into Circle 4 Farms. They're not going to be able to see the footage that was taken inside Circle 4 Farms. Smithfield Foods basically owns the town of Beaver, Utah. And we understand that workers want to have a job, but it's not okay for that job to be one of cruelty. We need to work with the people to make a difference. We need to work with the government to provide funds for these places to transition to plant-based options. These factory farms are destroying not just the animals' lives, but they are cruel to the workers, and they are destroying the environment. There are so many reasons to do the right thing, and you can help us. Go to righttorescue.com to find out more information.
No more oppression.
Thank you all for being part of this.
No more oppression.
We're going to have another speak out by Jordan in just a moment.
Animal liberation.
Do not buy Sean Reyes' lies.
Animals do not want to die.
Do not buy the Attorney General's lies.
Animals do not want to die.
Do not buy Costco's lies.
Animals do not want to die.
Do not buy Sean Reyes' lies.
Animals do not want to die.
All right. Thank you very much. Good morning. My name is Jordan. My pronouns are she and her, and I came all the way from San Francisco for this. And I want to talk about cages for a second here. Currently, hundreds of miles south of here, pigs are being held in cages in inhumane conditions with bloody nipples at Circle 4 Farms. But because two people who I know and respect and looked up to documented the deplorable conditions, the state of Utah, at the behest of Smithfield, wants to put them in cages for more than a decade. I'm betting you some really bad people will get less time than my friends, who will be separated from their communities in the Bay Area, like factory farms separate non-human mothers from their children. And we're not having it.
Woo!
And in the midst of all this is Attorney General Sean Reyes, who loves cages, whether it be caging immigrant children and immigrant slaughterhouse workers, or caging of non-human animals in their own blood and shit. And all the while, the crooked judge down in Beaver County is throwing out exculpatory evidence and wants anonymous juries as if Wayne and Paul are mafia types. I'm telling you, that's unconstitutional. We were taught as kids that the justice system is supposed to be about we the people, but I guess that was a lie. Down in Beaver County is a system by Shitfield, for Shitfield, and not the residents who are victimized by the factory farm pollution or the other victims of factory farming. Pigs don't want to die. Slaughterhouse workers don't want to be traumatized. Utahns don't want to bake in the climate change caused by factory farming, and we don't want people in cages for the crime of saving lives. So finally I say to Sean Reyes, put your fucking big boy pants on and stop cooking your residents and making them sick with shitfield shitty factory farms, and stop caging my friends, both humans and non-human, because it's not food, it's violence.
Powerful words from Jordan.
It's not food.
It's violence.
We are all very upset about the conditions in which we find our friends in, both, like Jordan said, the human and non-human animals. They all deserve a better life, and we want to help make that happen. You can too.
No more.
If you think that you're going to be able to make it to Utah next month for the upcoming trial, you can go to dxe.io/Utah trial to find out more information.
The truth is unstoppable.
Another world is possible.
Make sure you're sharing this live stream and have this conversation with people that you know in your lives. Talk about why this trial is happening and how do you feel about the fact that they're not going to be able to talk about the insanely inhumane conditions that were found on that farm. They want to prosecute Wayne and Paul for trespass and burglary, but they're not going to allow them to show the evidence of why that happened. What do you think about this? What do you think? What would you want for yourself if you were on trial? Would you want the same thing, or would you want to be able to stand up against these corporations and tell why you helped do what you did?
It's violence.
It's not him.
It's violence.
Their bodies.
Not ours.
Their lives.
Not ours.
Killing is no
We must speak up against all injustices everywhere.
Killing is no kindness.
It's not food, it's violence.
What do we want?
Animal liberation.
When do we want it?
Now.
Thank you guys all for being here.
Liberation. Now. Yes.
What do you think, sir, about what's happening here?
Yes.
Do you want some more information?
Human freedom, animal rights.
Some people were videotaping, which is great. It shows some interest in what's going on. We want people to have the information. Look at our friend here, so cute. Could you imagine this adorable baby locked in a cage inside, never allowed to see the light of day for their entire short life? How old is Cuzzy?
He's 1 year.
1 year. Fantastic. You know, pigs that are kept in these horrible conditions at Circle 4 farms, they never make it to this age, not even close. They're born in filth. They are scared and cold, and they spend their lives in darkness. And then finally, the one time that they see light is when they're about 6 months old. They get shipped off to be murdered. For what? For a sandwich. Look at this beautiful face. Hi, sweetheart. Hi, baby. You want to say hi to everybody? So adorable. Thank you so much. This baby is 1 year old. They never would have made it to that age on the factory farm. Let's listen to another speak out by a wonderful activist. Her name is Asul.
That is why I am here today, denouncing the repression of those who seek to expose a truth that is causing immense harm to our society. As we hurtle towards climate collapse, it has never been more important to legitimize those who seek to expose the cruel reality that hundreds of thousands of animals are facing and the destruction of the planet. The footage taken by activists Paul and Wayne shows the animals at Smithfield being abused and neglected. Proof of this are Lily and Lizzie, two little pigs who were in this hellish place and who would not have survived if they had not been rescued by them. We cannot continue to hide the horrible treatment of animals and punish those who only seek to shed a light on the dark truth that these places hide. I wonder Why does the food system seek to delegitimize those who advocate for a more just, empathetic, and compassionate society? If we seek peace, justice, equality, and freedom, are we going to continue to settle for them just being on paper? Or are we going to decide to move forward as a society to take charge of what is happening and act on it? As Gandhi said, the greatest of a nation and its moral progress can be judged by the way they treat animals. Humiliation, objectification, stress, terror, cruelty, violence, abuse is part of what these animals live every day. In these places, there is no doubt that we are in a time where society does not accept cruelty to animals, and institutions must accompany this change. We cannot continue to condemn those who bravely act out of compassion and under the philosophy of no violence, seeking a world where all lives are respected. We cannot continue to justify the violence present in these terrible places where property is worth more than life. Justice must reflect what society thinks about animal abuse. Helping those in need is a right and not a crime. Just fighting for a more just society is our responsibility. Today, we are Paul and Wayne. We are all feel as Lily and Lizzie do, and we will continue to resist, standing up until justice is served. Where is unity, there is always victory.
Woo! Thank you, Azul. What a great speak out. She is absolutely correct. It is up to us to stand up against injustice in all of its forms. And that is...
Death and exploitation. Torture, death and exploitation.
So that is why we are all out here. All of these activists have made the trip, some from far away, some that are local, to stand up against injustice in all of its forms. We want to help our friends Wayne and Paul in their upcoming trial in Utah for having saved the lives of two beautiful baby piglets that were born into a world of atrocity. At Circle 4 Farms, where they went in to document conditions, they found horrible things going on there that everyone should know are happening. You can help stop it. Go to Operation Death Star to find footage. You can go to righttorescue.com and find out more. And if you want to help be part of the upcoming trial to speak out against the injustice that's happening, at this trial, Wayne and Paul need to be able to show why they did what they did. How can you have a trial and not show why the people did what they did? If you were on trial, you would want to be able to defend yourself. And anonymizing the jury just makes things worse. It biases the jury into thinking that there's harm that might come to them just by being on the jury, and that's not the case. Direct Action Everywhere is a nonviolent organization. We peacefully protest, and we are here to speak up for our friends Wayne and Paul, to stand by them and support them. And if you want to do that as well, you can go to dxe.io/Utah trial. And also, you can help in so many other ways. Please share this live stream. Talk to your friends and family. Make sure that people are aware of what's going on and how it could affect them as well. If something were to happen to you, if this justice system stays the way that it is, you might find yourself in the same position where you are unable to defend yourself. Not to mention the laws that were being broken by Circle 4 Farms, the animal cruelty laws that these prosecutors are completely ignoring. They could press charges against Circle 4 Farms, but instead they chose to press charges against the people exposing. Let's listen to another speak out.
People are facing felony burglary, theft charges, and 10+ years in prison for rescuing two dying piglets so they could get proper medical care and be taken to sanctuary. as well as they filmed and exposed the gruesome conditions in Smithfield. These pigs now have names, Lily and Lizzie. Burglary is theft of property, which is how Smithfield views these and every other pigs on their farm that is the biggest pork pig flesh producing farm in the nation. Burglary should not be a term used for rescuing someone in need. We're here today to support the right to rescue animals from abuse and demand Smithfield be prosecuted for animal cruelty, not the people who exposed it. The dying piglets likely would have not survived and been tossed in a pile of rotting dead piglets that were witnessed by the DXC investigators who rescued them. They also witnessed adult pigs unable to stand due to injury, as well as mother pigs with bloody frayed nipples that even Smithfield's own veterinarian admitted were disturbing. The Attorney General's office pushed Judge Wilcox to prohibit the video of the conditions at Smithfield from being shown at the trial, not to arouse horror in the jury. And this is exactly why the jury deserves to see the footage, because they deserve to know the truth and understand why these investigators decided to rescue the piglets. As a Utah resident, I do not want my tax dollars being used for this, to prosecute whistleblowers. I have lived in Utah my entire life, and I know that ordinary Utahns do not support animal cruelty and support transparency in our food system. Sean Reyes is protecting corporate interests instead of protecting the people of Utah, our environment, and other vulnerable animals. It's time that we stop prosecuting those exposing the cruelty and prosecute the industry who is abusing animals. How can anyone feel right about charging someone with theft and felony charges for exposing animal abuse and rescuing 2 babies from gruesome conditions? Would this be different if it were cats and dogs? We're talking about individuals who value their lives just like you and I do. Not only are millions of pigs suffering and being murdered, but those speaking up against the cruelty and exposing the truth are being silenced and being prosecuted instead of those causing harm. We're here to speak out against the wrongful prosecution against the whistleblowers that are doing the right thing, exposing animal cruelty and rescuing those in need, as well as speaking up for the oppressed pigs that would have been completely silenced if they weren't there to witness and intervene. These pigs spend their entire lives in tiny spaces covered in their own feces, endure immense suffering, and are never even exposed to sunlight. If you're against animal abuse, I invite you now to take action on those belief systems and stop supporting animal agriculture farms like Smithfield. Today is my birthday, and I'm spending it here speaking up for the silenced and unjustly prosecuted.
Thank you so much for taking the time to come out and give that speech. This is exactly what we're talking about. The right to stand up against exploitation, the right to rescue those in need. If it were you in that cage, never seeing the light of day, would you want us to come and help you? I would. And I would want the people who help me to get a medal, not be prosecuted. We have some people here who are taking the time to see Cuzzy. People innately love animals. People innately want to give them love and show them how much they care about them. These children, luckily right now, probably have no idea what goes on at Circle 4 Farms. We want to protect children as well. There's a reason that people take their children to go apple picking and strawberry picking, and they don't take them into Circle 4 Farms to show them how the products get put onto their plate. It's an atrocity, and we all have to stand up against it. Let us know what you think about this. Make sure you're sharing this live stream. Thank you guys so much for being here. Every one of you. I appreciate everybody that's here.
No more! Factory farms!
All of us need to stand up together and speak up against this injustice. If you want to help, you can reach out to the Utah Attorney General, Sean Reyes, and let him know what you think. You can come out to Utah to be part of the upcoming trial next month. You can go to dxe.io/Utah trial. You can go to righttorescue.com. You can sign the petition. You can share that information on all of your social media outlets and make sure that everybody knows what happened. No matter what the outcome, I hope that everybody knows that we will never stop speaking out for animals. We will never stop doing the right thing until all animals are free.
Carla, we are going to deliver a letter. So you can follow them like Louis.
Okay, that's great.
Honestly, I think I'm going to be more useful.
We're so grateful for you all being here. We want everybody to understand what's going on for this upcoming trial. In 2017, several activists... Oh, here's Eva Hammer. Eva is talking right now. Let's listen to this.
Pictures just like the more gruesome ones we're showing you now. And knowing that there was no accountability for the people who are doing this to these animals. In farms all over the country, in farms all over the world. I remember feeling so angry knowing that just months before, multiple SUVs full of fully armed FBI agents raided 2 sanctuaries simultaneously to go after 2 baby piglets. 2 baby piglets who, against all odds, had been rescued from a place just like this. When I think about people who would do that, and when I think about people who would prosecute my friends for rescue, instead of going in to help these babies, who don't have enough space to avoid being crushed by their mothers, I don't understand. And when I think about people who would treat my friends like criminals, who would treat them like mafia, who would treat them like they're violent, because they would dare to keep talking about these 2 baby piglets that they had the nerve to rescue. Or when I think about people who would threaten the lives of humans for wanting to talk about these piglets on the street, I just really want to understand. And I don't think it's just money. I mean, obviously there are campaign donations that would make a lot of sense that my friends are being prosecuted. And I don't think it's just that we're out-of-towners, though, of course. It's scary to have people come from out of town and criticize the way that you're treating animals that you think of as property. I think there's something even deeper going on, and I think that change is really scary. Of course. I mean, the change that we're asking for is of a magnitude that, of course, that's terrifying for so many people. Of course, it's terrifying to think of a world that we are moving towards, where the scientific consensus of animal sentience, of animals' capacity to suffer, their capacity to love, their capacity to feel pain and pleasure and joy and fear. Of course, that when some people think about that reality really being represented in the way that we treat each other, that must be terrifying. That must be a terrifying amount of change to contemplate. And so part of me wants to say, of course there are people in this world who want to stop us from speaking that truth into existence. But the truth is that this evolution is inevitable. This is the direction that society is going. More and more people every day are becoming aware of this reality and becoming aware of this motion towards justice for animals. And I wish it could happen without sacrifice. I feel so sad to think of my friends spending time in prison for this. I feel so sad knowing that when one of us dies, it won't be the first time that someone's died for our movement. I wish this could happen without sacrifice, but it won't. And if some of us have to go to prison, which I believe we do, it will be worth it because this evolution is so important. It is so important that we move towards a world that's just for everybody, not just for humans. It's just for anybody who can suffer. And I know that when our friends go to prison, whether it's this time or next time, I know that when that happens, it won't make us stop When that sacrifice is made, it'll only ignite more action. Because we're going to keep working until every factory farm is shut down, until slaughter is illegal, and until every animal is free. Thank you.
Thank you, Eva. So powerful. She perfectly put
What do we want?
into words how we all feel.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
All right, let's.
When do we want
I'm going to
it?
take us on a little journey right now.
Not five.
Lewis and Max and I are about to go and deliver a letter to the Utah Attorney General, Sean Reyes.
Animals do not want to die.
Max has a letter in that folder, and we're going to go ahead up and deliver this letter.
All right, we're going to deliver some letters to Attorney General Sean Reyes and to Governor Spencer Cox.
All right. And what do the letters say?
They say that they talk about all the problems with Smithfield, how they're harming the animals, how they're polluting the environment, how they're harming human health in the counties down there, and how the activists should not be the ones being prosecuted, and instead Smithfield should be investigated and prosecuted for their animal cruelty and their environmental damage.
Absolutely. And what do you think? The average person can also contact these government officials as well. They can write their own letters, can they not?
Of course they can, and they should. And they can also visit righttorescue.com to learn more about animal cruelty and the right to rescue, and the upcoming trial of Wayne and Paul.
That's wonderful. That's great. Thank you. Yeah, anybody that wants to help out with this, anybody who wants to take action can do so. So if you also would like to write your own letter to let these government officials know that they should be prosecuting Circle 4 Farms and Smithfield Foods, not the activists, who all they did is expose what's going on. We need more whistleblowers, not fewer. We need people to stand up and speak out against the injustices that are happening. And the more people who come together and rise up, the more attention we put on this, the more pressure that we put on these corporations, the faster that we move towards what Eva was talking about, progress, our future. If we want to have a future, if we want the environmental crisis to stop, then we have to take action. Sometimes we have to take bold action. And so we're doing that today here at the Utah State Capitol. Let's go inside.
You might have to go quiet as we go through.
Okay, do you know where you're going? Okay.
I need to put these down.
Oh, no, you're good. It's just for bags, so you guys are okay. Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah, have a good day.
This is new. This was, I don't know this. I never remember this.
Thank you guys for being here and being part of this. We've just gone inside the Utah State Capitol, and Max is about to deliver some letters to the Utah Governor.
Yeah, 200.
The Utah Attorney General Sean Reyes. Let's follow them as they take this journey inside the Utah State Capitol. You can do the same thing. Everybody is allowed to speak up and say their piece. You can contact your government officials to let them know how you feel about this. The fact that these two activists are being prosecuted for simply documenting the conditions inside this farm, conditions that the farm said that they were not doing They said they had banned gestation crates, and yet the activists were able to document hundreds of mother pigs trapped in these gestation crates, giving birth inside these crates, giving birth and having these piglets, many of them dying before they even had a chance at life. Others who were languishing in the mother's feces. This shouldn't happen. This should never happen anywhere. And the fact that Wayne and Paul are not able to show people why they went into Circle 4 Farms, not be able to defend themselves against Smithfield Foods, this massive corporation, a subsidiary of WH Group. This is a travesty. And I'm so grateful that you all are part of this live stream, that you all are here to make a difference and stand up and help. Because today it's Wayne and Paul. Tomorrow it could be any one of us. So we are at the office of the governor and the office of the lieutenant governor, hoping that we're going to be able to present our letters. Let's see if they answer the door.
Hi, I'd like to deliver a letter to the governor.
Sorry, we can't accept any letters in person. They have to be sent to the mail so they can go through security.
Oh, okay. Is the governor available? Can I talk to him?
Sorry, he's not available right now.
What do we want to do?
So
Could leave the letter here.
So we're contemplating right now what we can do, because the office is all locked up and they have an intercom system, and Max asked if he would be able to present the letter to them. They said no, that we are not able to give the letter to them for security reasons. So then Max asked if he would be able to go in and speak with the governor, and again was told no. So we can't leave the letter, we can't talk to the governor, we are unable to speak with the representatives and give them the information that's so vital. So we're deciding right now what to do. I think we might just leave the letter, and they'll do with it what they will, but at least we'll have said our piece. This is the information right here.
This is the governor's not available, and they're not accepting our letter. They don't want to hear from us. But here, we can give it to the picture of the governor instead. Just leave that right there.
There you go. Letter has been delivered as close as we can possibly deliver it. Hopefully they'll take it in, go through their security protocol, and read it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, now we need to find our headliner, the Attorney General Sean Reyes.
We're going to give this another go. No success at the first stop, except we were able to just leave the letter. Hopefully they will take it, bring it in, and read it. These are government officials that are supposed to be here for the public, and they're not allowing us to say our piece, but we will not be deterred. Thank you guys all for being here again. Make sure you're sharing this live stream. We are inside the Utah State Capitol right now, attempting to deliver some letters to government officials. We're on our way to the Attorney General Sean Reyes' office to see if we can serve him with a letter. It's a very, very large building. Here we go. Here we go. We are at the office of the Utah Attorney General.
Go ahead. Hello. I have a letter for Sean Reyes.
All right, I'm going to call Ms. Chance.
Great. Great. Thank you.
We, of course, want to be very respectful, so we're just waiting quietly. Thank you all for being here.
Hello. Hey. The letter here for Sean Reyes about a trial against some activists who were investigating Smithfield foods and talking about the problems with Smithfield, the problems with the farms down there, and asking him to drop the charges against the activists and instead go after the animal cruelty at Smithfield.
Okay, we'll take this. I'll pass it on.
Great, thank you.
Are you familiar with the case?
I'm familiar with the basics of the case. I haven't jumped into the prosecution at all.
Awesome.
I know our office is assisting the Beaver County attorney. Okay, I appreciate you guys.
Is Sean Reyes available?
He's not available right now.
Okay.
He's not here in the office today.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for taking the letter and just have a good rest of your day.
I appreciate you guys paying attention. God bless
It's
you.
hard not to pay attention when our friends are facing over 10 years in prison for rescuing piglets from a factory farm. It's pretty hard to ignore.
Yeah.
No, I understand this. I do understand the situation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
Right.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's, talk about not wanting to comment at all on that. Really, it's about as vague as you could be.
But we are grateful that they took the letter. We're grateful that they at least took the letter.
Yeah, a lot better than the governor. But this is our main person we wanted to send the letter to. So, I guess that's good news.
Yeah. And don't forget, everyone on here, you too can write your own letter or come to the state capitol if you're nearby and deliver that letter yourself and make sure that that these politicians know that people are paying attention and are willing to speak up against the cruelty that's happening at Circle 4 Farms and with Smithfield Foods, right?
Yeah, for sure, yeah. Or you can go to righttorescue.com and learn more about this case.
Yeah, absolutely.
Come to the trial, support the defendants in the trial in October. Learn about how to get more involved with activism.
Absolutely. Right. Yeah, absolutely. We're going to head back out since we were able to deliver at least one letter. That was really fantastic. Thank you, Max, for coming up here. And see, anybody, you can all do this yourselves. Make sure that you're in communication with your local politicians. Make sure that you're in communication with larger politicians. You can write to them. You can email them. You can contact them on social media. You can, make a telephone call. Let me turn this around. Thank you. So yeah, anybody can do this, and we urge everybody to please stay in contact with your politicians. You can call them, write to them, let them know that you're aware of this trial against Wayne Shung and Paul Darwin Picklesheimer in Smithfield Foods. Let them know that you think that what's going on is egregious. This should not be how people who are standing up against injustice should be treated. The trial itself, make sure that you understand why we are fighting so vehemently for our friends to be able to just have the right to defend themselves, to have the right to show the jury the conditions in which these individuals were being kept. We need to make sure that we're personalizing all of the animals and make sure that people know what cruelty is happening and how they can stand up against it themselves. So we're going to head back down to the protest, and we hope that everybody is able to go to righttorescue.com and find out more. We were planning on having the trial right now. That's why a lot of us are here, is the trial originally was going to be happening right now. But several activists went to Beaver County in order to just speak with people. That's all they wanted to do, to go out. They went out during the Pioneer Days festival, and they were going to talk to the public, find out what they knew about the case, how they felt about it. That's all. And instead of being heard, the local police showed up and harassed them. They told them that they were not wanted in that town and that they needed to get out. And they were told that their lives could even be in danger. But when that happens, if that happens, that activists' lives could possibly be in danger, it is actually up to the police to protect those activists, to protect their free speech. And that is not what happened. The exact opposite happened. And because of that, the judge was convinced that Wayne and Paul were not going to be able to get a fair trial, and the trial was moved to another county, and the dates were changed. So the trial is now going to happen next month, and we'd love to see everybody out there. Again, you can go to dxe.io/Utah trial to find out more information. And let's get back to the protest that's happening right now.
Fair trial. But they're going to try their damnedest anyway. They're going to try to do what they can.
Curtis Vollmer speaking right now.
To show the world that Smithfield is corrupt. To show the world that Sean Reyes here is corrupt. And to show that animals deserve a voice. Animals deserve somebody to have representing them. Animals deserve to be rescued from places of abject horror. So I want to thank every one of you for being here. People from out of state, people from out of town, people from in town. This is very important that you're here. It's very important that we can draw as much attention to this as possible, because the state is definitely not helping us. The state is definitely not interested in justice or truth. Smithfield is definitely not interested in justice and truth. So it's up to ordinary people like you and I to be out here to get this message out. And for that, thank you so much. And thank you for listening to me.
All right. Well, we missed a lot of what Curtis said. I'm sure it was powerful. We're going to probably maybe have one more speak out, and then we're going to be wrapping things up. But I thank you all so much for being here. We have to make sure that we are speaking up against the injustice. I think Max is about to give a speak out right now. Thank you all for staying. I know this has been a long live stream, but it's important that we're here. There's Sean Reyes himself. Make sure you're sharing this live stream. And if you're able to, come out to Utah next month. There are going to be a lot of things going on. We're going to be broadcasting minute to minute what happens during the trial, keeping everybody informed. So make sure that you bookmark this.
One struggle, one fight. Human freedom, animal rights. One struggle, one fight. Human freedom.
We're going to be hearing from Max in just a second.
One fight.
Human freedom, animal rights.
We are unstoppable. Another world is possible. We are unstoppable.
Another world is possible.
We are unstoppable.
Another world is possible.
Torture, death, and exploitation.
Profit for corporation.
Yeah.
Hello. Good afternoon. Myself and a couple other activists. Just went into the state capitol building to deliver letters to Sean Reyes, Attorney General Sean Reyes, and Governor Spencer Cox. First, we went to the letters basically outline all the problems with Smithfield, how they're cruel to the animals, how they're cruel to the environment, and how they're cruel to the health of the local residents of Utah, and asking him to drop the charges against the activists and to instead look into the animal cruelty at Smithfield and to prosecute them instead. So first we went to the governor's office, and they're just really hostile to the public. They wouldn't let us in. They wouldn't even take our letter. We had to leave it outside the door. They wanted us to mail it instead. No one there wanted to talk to us. But then afterwards we were able to go to the Attorney General's office, and we walked right in. We had showed the letter to the secretary who was there, and then she called one of his assistants, came out, gave him the letter, asked him if he was familiar with the trial. He said he was a little bit familiar, and that they've been working with Beaver County Sheriff on this, and took the letter, other than saying he was vaguely familiar with the case, he didn't want to Attorney General in prosecuting our good friends Wayne and Paul. And thank you all for being here.
Woo! Thank you, Max, for being here.
Thank you. Yeah, so maybe we can do another round of chants.
All right, I just want to wrap this up myself here. I want to thank everybody for coming here and watching this live stream and making sure that you're aware of what's happening. Dakota, thank you so much for commenting and engaging with this live stream. A last wrap-up of information is that we are at the Utah State Capitol right now in Salt Lake City. We just went inside the Capitol to deliver a few letters. One unsuccessful, but one successfully. We were able to actually go into the office and speak to the secretary and deliver the letter to one of the Attorney General Sean Reyes' assistants. So that was fantastic. If you would like to find out more about why we were out here, the Utah trial against Smithfield and Wayne Shung and Paul Darwin Picklesheimer that's happening next month, you can go to dxe.io/Utah trial or go to righttorescue.com, sign the petition, find out more. Please share this. Make sure that you're talking about this trial. This is not just about Wayne and Paul. This is not just about animal rights. This is about human rights. These factory farms, Circle 4 farms, not only are they cruel to the animals, but this is not good for the workers. This is devastating to the environment. If you care about environmental justice, if you care about human rights, then you need to be involved in this. You need to speak up as well. Make sure that you understand what happened, why it happened, and if you were on trial, I'm sure that you would want the jury to be able to hear all of the information. Not just one side, but both sides. Why you did what you did, what was happening. And all of this is being silenced. We need to speak out against it. Please make sure that you share this and speak to all of your friends and family. I would love to talk to the other activists who were out here. I wanted to get a little bit of information about their environmental justice movement. If we find out more about that organization, we'll post that on here as well. We have some of our activists. Let me turn this around. Some of our activists are able to speak with some people, spread the message of what's going on. There are lots of people who are out here, and we're really happy to be able to provide this information to people. So thank you all so much again. We're getting one last look at all of the activists who came out today to be part of this action. Thank you guys so much. This is incredible. Again, make sure to share this, and let me turn this back around.
Let us know if we're in your way here.
Thank you guys all for being here. Just want to get a shot of everybody in the background. Thank you all for being here, and righttorescue.com. Make sure that you post on your social media about this trial and what's going on. And if you can make it out to Utah next month, we'd love to see you out there. Thank you so much, and you guys have a wonderful day.